Good morning to all the students. Today we are going to be starting with this one act play, the last play of your book First Flight, The Proposal, written by Anton Chekhov. The proposal, it has several meanings: a suggestion, a plan or scheme for doing something, an offer for a possible plan or action. Third is the act of asking someone's hand in marriage. In this act, we will come across the third meaning. The whole act lays on this meaning, the act of asking someone's hand in marriage. Before, there is a short introduction about a Russian wedding, how the Russian wedding is performed, what are the rituals, what are the ceremonies of a Russian wedding. Do you have any idea about Russian wedding? I think most of you won't have it, but we all have the knowledge of Indian wedding as we have been attending the Indian wedding. But what about a Russian wedding? So let's begin. Few things about Russian wedding. A Russian wedding is very simple. The planning only includes arranging for rings, brides, dress, cars and a reception. Only these things are required for a Russian wedding. And it lasts for 2 days. The necessary part of the wedding ceremony is a wedding procession of several cars. Then the best friends of the groom and the bride meet before the actual day of the marriage, and they plan for different speeches. They organize contests, make posters. They start preparing days before for the marriage. Then, when first the marriage starts with the registration process. The groom arrives to fetch the bride for the registration. He has to fight to get her. Russians usually live in apartments in tall buildings, and the groom has to climb several stairs to reach his bride. But at each landing, he must answer a question to be allowed to go up. The bride's friends ask difficult questions, and the groom must answer with the help of his best friends. For example, he may be shown a few photos of baby girls, and he must say that which one his bride is. So, at first, when the registration takes place, the bride is placed. She is being sent to the top of the apartment of any building, and the groom, along with his friends, had to cross every landing to reach the last floor where the bride is sitting. He needs to answer every question that is being asked by the bride's friends, and if he's not able to answer, he needs to pay in cash to move ahead. After the marriage registration, finally it's a time for the newly married couple leaves the guests for a tour of the city sights. Then 2-3 hours they reach at the reception ceremony, and then the couple they are welcomed at a specially arranged table with their family, friends and invited guests. The reception starts with a wedding toast. Wedding toast is again one of the very important customs which they follow, where a close friend or a relative of a groom or a bride has to say a few words just to wish and bless the couple. After a few toasts, people start eating, drinking, and then suddenly the bride gets stolen. She disappears, and when the groom starts looking for her, he is asked to pay a fee. Usually it is his friends who steal the bride. Then there are the bride's friends. They steal the bride's shoe. The groom must pay money for the shoe too. The guests enjoy watching these tussles and continue partying. So these are certain customs and ceremonies being followed at the Russian wedding, where brides get stolen, where the bride gets stolen, and it's his friends who actually steal the bride. The groom has to find his bride. So these are little fun These customs are for fun, for enjoyment. All the guests enjoy watching these tussles of the friends of brides and groom's family. There is a question below this passage where you need to find the common things and the customs that are different from the Indian wedding. There are 2 boxes made and you need to do this question in your notebook. The proposal. What is this act is all about? The proposal, it is originally titled as a marriage proposal, is a one-act play. Written by a short story writer, dramatist Anton Chekhov, and it was written in the year 1888 to 1889. There are 3 main characters: Stepan Stepanovich Chubukov, who is a landowner; Natalia Stepanovna, she is Stepan's daughter, who is 25 years old; and last is Ivan Vasilovich Lomov, who is the neighbor of Chubukov, a large and hearty but very suspicious landowner. He is a landowner too. They all belong to a wealthy family. The first scene is the drawing room of Chubukov, and Ivan meets Chubukov at his place. This is the first scene of the act. Chubukov. My dear fellow, whom do I see? Ivan Vasilovich, I am extremely glad. Now this is a surprise, my darling. How are you? Drawing room of the Chubukov house, the first scene. Lomov enters wearing a white jacket and white gloves. Chubukov rises and greets him, shakes his hand, and he's very surprised to see Ivan at his place. Lomov, thank you. How may you be getting on? Chubukov, we just get along somehow, my angel, thanks to your prayers and so on. Sit down, please do. Now you know you shouldn't forget all about your neighbors, my darling, my dear fellow. Why are you so formal in your get-up? Evening dress, gloves and so on. Can you be going anywhere, my treasure? So Chubukov welcomed Ivan and was really surprised to see Ivan's dress. He was wearing his evening dress as if he was going to a party or a Christmas party or a ball. He asked where he's actually going. Lomov said nowhere, he's not going anywhere, but he has come just to meet honored Stepan Stepanovich, Mr. Chubukov. Chubukov, my precious, then why are you in evening dress to meet me? As if you're paying a New Year's Eve visit? Lomov. Honored Stepan Stepanovich, I'm here to trouble you with a request. Not once or twice have I already had the privilege of applying to you for help, and you have always, so to speak, I must ask your pardon. I am getting excited. I shall drink some water, honored Stepan Stepanovich. Now Lomov knew that what he has come for. He had come at Chubukov's place to ask for Natalia's hand for marriage from Chubukov. He was very excited, equally nervous, because this was the first time he had gathered the courage to ask for marriage. Now, Chubukov became little suspicious that why Lomov has arrived at their place, whether he has come here to borrow money. Chubukov had already thought in his mind that he is not going to give money to him at all. Lomov, you see, honored Stepanich, I beg pardon, Stepan Honorich. I mean, I'm awfully excited. As you will please notice, in short, you alone can help me, though I don't deserve it, of course, and haven't any right to count on your assistance. Lomov gathered courage, but before that he became little nervous to speak out his heart, what he wanted. He was excited. He wanted Chubukov to notice what he wants to say, and he wanted his assistance again, because for the past many times Chubukov has had every time assisted him with his help, and this time also Lomov wanted his help. Chubukov wanted Lomov to speak out the actual thing that he wanted to. Don't make it round and round, darling. Spit it out. Speak up, whatever you want to speak. Lomov, one moment, this very minute. The fact I have come to ask the hand of your daughter, Natalia Stepanovna, in marriage. Now Lomov declared in front of Chubukov that he has come here to ask for the hand of his daughter Natalia Stepanovna. Chubukov became very happy, very joyful. Ivan Vasilovich, say it again. I didn't hear it all. Lomov, I have the honor to ask. Chubukov, he interrupted. He didn't let Lomov speak out the second time what he wanted to. Chubukov became so happy, he interrupted in between and said, I'm so glad. He started hugging Lomov, he started kissing, embracing him, because Chubukov himself, he himself wanted his daughter to marry Lomov, and this thought for the past many years was going on in the mind of Chubukov himself, and he became very happy. And I've always loved you, my angel, as if you were my own son. May God give you both His help, His love, and so on. And so much hope. What am I behaving in this idiotic way for? I'm off with my balance with joy. Absolutely off my balance. Oh, with all my soul, I will go and call Natasha and all that. He started behaving in a very unnatural way. He is calling himself an idiotic way that he is using for. He says that why I'm behaving in this way. I'm getting very excited, equally happy. He rushed away. He left the room and rushed away to call Natasha. Lomov, he was greatly moved. Honored Stepan Stepanovich, do you think I may count on her consent? Chubukov, why, of course, my darling, and as if she won't consent. She's in love. She's like a lovesick cat, and so on. Shan't be long. So Lomov asked Chubukov whether he should ask from Natalia about her consent, what she thinks about Ivan, what she thinks about him, whether she is ready to marry. Chubukov became happy. He said, why not? Why Natalia would be not happy to marry you? She would be very happy. She's a lovesick cat. She's madly in love. Lomov, it's cold. I am trembling all over, as if I have got an examination before me. So this was like an exam for Lomov, because he was about to propose Natalia, and that too a marriage proposal. He was getting sweaty, he was getting very nervous to express his desire to Natalia. He started thinking on his own that if he is going to hesitate like this, if he is going to talk to her like this, in this manner, he will never going to get married. After all, Natalia Stepanovna is an excellent housekeeper. She is not bad looking either. She is well educated. And what do Ivan needs more? What do I need more? He thinks that it's impossible for me to marry if I'm not be able to propose Natalia. First place, I'm 35 years old. In the second place, he needs a quiet and regular life. And third, he also suffers from palpitation. Palpitations, I have already written the meaning on the top, an abnormal beating of the heart that may be perceived by the patient as a result of excitement, exertion, or illness. Due to illness, when your heart suddenly start beating fast. So this is what Ivan suffered from. So there were many factors for Ivan to marry at that particular moment, and it was the need of the hour. to propose Natalia because he was already 35 and he had a lot of problems going on in his personal life. But the very worst of all is the way I sleep. I no longer get into bed and begin to go off. When suddenly something in my left side gives a pull and I can feel it in my shoulder and head. So these were the things that he was suffering from. A lot of physical abnormalities that he was suffering from. Suddenly, Natalia Stepanovna enters the room. Natalia, well, there it's you. And Papa said, go, there's a merchant come for his goods. How do you do, Ivan Vasilovich? So, when Natalia looked at Ivan, she was happy to see him. Lomov, how do you do, honored Natalia Stepanovna? Natalia, you must excuse my apron and negligee. What is negligee? Written already, nightgown. She was wearing an apron and negligee. Natalia told Lomov that please excuse her for her dress, for her apron negligee that she is wearing because she had been working in the kitchen. She had been shelling peas for drying. And she also offered him for a lunch. Lomov, I had some already and thank you. No, thank you. Natalia offered him for smoke. The weather is splendid now, but yesterday it was so wet that the workmen didn't do anything all day. How much hay have you stacked? Just think. I felt greedy and had a whole field cut, and now I am not at all pleased about it because I am afraid my hay may not. Now, Natalia, after offering to smoke from Lomov, she continues her own talks, her own thing that the weather is so wet. She had already told all the workmen of her field to cut the hay and make stacks out of it. And now suddenly the weather has changed and it may spoil the hay. The hay may rot. She felt that she had become little greedy. And while she was talking, while she was sharing her own things to Lomov, she looked at him, at his dress. Why are you in evening dress? Well, I never. Are you going to a ball or what? Though I must say you look better. Tell me, what are you got up like that? Why are you got up like that? Natalia asked Lomov that why is he in evening dress? Though he looks good, but why is he here in evening dress? Lomov became very excited because actually the topic had arrived. The purpose had actually arrived for which he had come at Chubukov's place. He said that he has already made up his mind to ask Natalia to hear him. Of course, he will be surprised and even angry. Natalia wanted to know the matter because she was getting very confused. Lomov. He became very nervous. How to express he wanted to marry Natalia. He started beginning from the childhood memories of their families. He started beginning from his childhood days that since his childhood, he had the privilege of knowing Natalia's family. How their relationship was built, how both the families had a good relation with each other. My late aunt and her husband, from whom, as you know, I inherited my land, always had the greatest respect for your father and your late mother. Lomov shares with Natalia that everybody knows that he has inherited this land property, the property from his aunt and her husband, who are no more. They always had a great respect for Natalia's father and Natalia's mother. The Lomovs and the Chubukovs had a very friendly relation and they were always affectionate towards each other. They are good neighbors as well. He also further added, "You will remember that my oxen meadows touch your birch woods." What are oxen meadows? Meadows where grass are grown, and birch woods. Birch is a type of a tree. Woods means a number of trees. A land with birch trees. So he further added that you remember that mine oxen meadows touch your birch woods, even the lands are together. Natalia, shocked and surprised, how Ivan is calling oxen meadows as his. My oxen meadows? But are they yours? Because Natalia knew that oxen meadows belongs to Chubukovs, not Ivan. Lomov, yes, mine. Natalia, what are you talking about? Oxen meadows are ours, not yours. So the whole chapter is all about their quarrelsome nature. All the characters here, all the three characters are quarreling over with each other for the land, for the oxen meadows. Lomov says, yes, they are mine. Natalia, what are you talking about? Oxen meadows are mine. Now, they both started fighting with each other, quarreling with each other, telling oxen meadows belonging to them. Natalia, yes, they are ours. Lomov, no, you are mistaken. Honored Natalia Stepanovna, they are mine. Natalia, just think, Ivan Vasilovich, how long have they been yours? How long? As long as I can remember. Natalia, really? You won't get me to believe that. They started arguing with each other. Natalia asked him that for how many years this oxen meadows belongs to you? They're ours. Lomov went into the past and explained the whole thing to Natalia, that he even have the documents of the oxen meadows in his own name. He told that oxen meadows were once a matter of dispute during the time of our ancestors, but now it has been solved and everybody around knew that oxen meadows belongs to Lomov, not Chubukovs. He further added that my aunt's grandmother gave the free use of these meadows in perpetuity to the peasants of your father's grandfather, in return for which they were to make bricks for her. So this is the time of their aunt's grandmother and Natalia's father's grandfather. They had negotiated where aunt's grandmother gave the free use of these meadows to the peasants of father's grandfather. And since then, the peasants became accustomed to meadows calling oxen meadows as Chubukovs, as under the ownership of Chubukovs, but this is not true. The actual paper, the ownership belongs to aunt's grandmother, and now it has directly been inherited by Lomov, thus making Lomov as the owner of the oxen meadows.